So just 6 days later, after that incident, that conversation, Jesus brought with him Peter and James and John, his brother, and led them up on a high mountain by themselves. And he was transfigured before them, and his face shone like the sun, and his garments became as white as light. Some scholars have said, well, maybe this high mountain is also Mount Hermon. That is quite possible. It doesn't say that. It would be nice if they kind of told us which mountain it was. It could be Mount Hermon again, because they're probably still kind of in the same region, and it's a high mountain, and there's some supernatural activity. There's like a vision happening here, right? For the apostles to understand Jesus. And it comes right after he says this, whoever wishes to save his life will lose it, but whoever loses his life for my sake will find it. He is talking about actual death. This is not a metaphor. He's telling the apostles, you guys are going to need to be willing to die to follow me. And they did. They were killed. They were martyred. He's telling them, you guys are going to get killed by following me. But before you die, you're going to see the Son of Man coming in his kingdom. And as I said before, this is a direct quote from Daniel chapter 7. It's about the kingship of Jesus. The transfiguration itself is not the coming of the Son of Man. The coming of the Son of Man is more of the ascension, and when Jesus is actually enthroned as king and some of the things he does as king. That's what the coming of the Son of Man is. Remember, it's coming to heaven, not coming to earth. And it's not the parousia, it's the erchema. And so they're on this supernatural mountain, Mount Hermon, and now there's this transfiguration. Now the Greek word is basically metamorphosis. A voice out of the cloud said, this is my beloved Son with whom I am well pleased. Listen to him. So this is God speaking to the apostles, actually. So this is really a vision for the apostles to understand who Jesus is as they set out on their mission, which will result in their deaths as well as Jesus's death. The unbelieving and perverse generation, this generation, that's the people in the first century. That's who he's talking to. They will see Jesus ascend to heaven and become king. They will see Jesus defeat the principalities and powers. They will see Jesus defeat death. Right here, this take up your cross passage, I think this is a very important passage, especially for us today, when many of us might end up getting martyred, actually. It's literally talking about his followers getting killed, okay? Primarily these apostles, and they did get killed, but I think we can apply this to us as well. It doesn't mean we're going to get killed, but you know, it might happen. It's part of the victory. Martyrdom is victory. All right, let's read this. Then Jesus said to his disciples, if anyone wishes to come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross and follow me. For whoever wishes to save his life will lose it. But whoever loses his life for my sake will find it. That's literally talking about getting killed, all right? Martyrdom. It's not a metaphor. For what will it profit a man if he gains the whole world and forfeits his soul? If he keeps his job and forfeits his soul? Or what will a man give in exchange for his soul? For the Son of Man is going to come in the glory of his Father with his angels. Again, this is coming on the clouds of heaven to heaven, and the angels are in heaven. So when Jesus goes to heaven, he's surrounded by these angels, and he's ruling as the king. For the Son of Man is going to go to heaven to reign, to sit at the right hand of the Father in glory of his Father with his angels in heaven, and will then repay each one according to his deeds. And again, this is basically talking about martyrdom. I don't think this is a major theological statement about works versus faith or versus works and all this kind of stuff. It's talking about martyrdom. So we'll then repay each one who gets martyred. See, the deeds here are specifically talking about those who get martyred, and they'll get repaid. This is kind of a good sense. This is like, if you guys actually follow me to the cross and get martyred, you'll be repaid. See, the only deeds mentioned so far are getting martyred. This isn't really talking about faith versus works or doing good deeds and all these kind of things. It's simply saying, Son of Man is going to heaven to reign. And when you also go to heaven after you get killed, you'll find your eternal life, everlasting life. Truly I say to you, there are some of those who are standing here who will not taste death until they see the Son of Man going to heaven to reign, coming in his kingdom, reigning from heaven. See, this is like a figure of speech, a phrase that means something, and it's repeated so many times, and I did a video already on this. It's from Daniel 7:13. It's talking about the reign and the authority and the power when Jesus becomes king. They're going to see that happen in their lifetime. Jesus was enthroned during that generation, right after the cross, after he ascended to heaven. He was enthroned as king with his angels around him, judging and reigning. This incorporates all that stuff, including the destruction of the temple, which was judgment, which was Jesus judging Jerusalem, the whore of Babylon. And this is talking about the Son of Man coming to heaven, not coming to earth. It's not about the second coming. This happened about 2,000 years ago. It's the fulfillment of the prophecy of Daniel 7:13. Son of Man coming on the clouds. That was Daniel having a vision where he was in heaven, seeing Jesus come to heaven. And this passage is quoted many times in the Gospel of Matthew. And it always means Jesus going to heaven, not coming to earth. And it can be used also when Jesus acts as king. For example, in judgment, the destruction of the temple in 70 AD, etc. They saw him ascend into heaven, and they experienced the reign of Christ in their lifetime. And in Revelation, we see the apostles getting killed and ascending into heaven and sitting on thrones. In Colossians 2:15, having disarmed the rulers and authorities, he made a public display of them, having triumphed over them in him. He had to die in order to return from the dead. He defeated death. So in some ways, Mount Hermon probably signified death itself, if it's associated with Hades and the gates of Hades and these things. So Jesus triumphed over death, which is really our problem, really, if you think about it. Death is the big problem for humanity. It's a huge problem for us, is that we're all going to die. That's an issue, and people have tried to deal with this by doing all these purity rituals in order to overcome death, or at least the fear of death even. None of it really works. Only Jesus succeeded in defeating death. And he defeated death for those who believe in him, for those who follow him. I guess some people like death.